In the recap of the final episode of the Station 19 series, Maya was separated from her crew. Fire was all about her at that moment. After she came to the realization that she would pass away, she began to see her life. What the situation would have been like if it had occurred. There was a possibility that she would be present when her wife went into labor. She entertained the idea of carrying their third kid so that she may also go through the experience of giving birth. It turned out that she was being overly gloomy when she considered the beautiful life that she was passing up when she was living it. Overhead, there was a helicopter that descended from the sky. In the region, he poured a significant amount of water. It was a lifesaver for Maya. She would be able to live the life she had always imagined, and she would not have to be concerned about her own mortality. For the time being, no. There was her own group. The rest of the firefighters were unable to communicate with them either. To make matters much more difficult, there was a fire tornado going on at the same time that the communication system was down. Each and every one of them had never before witnessed a genuine fire tornado. To be more precise, Montgomery was the one who discovered it initially. In the vicinity of the resort area, he was accompanied by Dominic and Kate. The fire tornado was visible to them. The attempt was made to warn Kate. As a result of the whole commotion, she was unable to hear them. Her body was struck by the fire tornado in a direct manner. All of a sudden, she was taken out. It was very terrifying. It was her hubris that made her unpopular with the squad. That she ended the relationship between Theo and Vic was another source of blame. Only that nobody wanted her to be dead. In addition, they did not possess any measures to combat the fire tornado. The water pipe that they had was severed by it. They were unable to put out the fire. They were unable to break free of it. They were only able to protect themselves by covering themselves with sheets that was fireproof. They were forced to wait for the fires to get out of control. At that moment, they were in the witching hour. Due to the fact that the winds were strong during that time of day, it was the worst time for flames to wreak damage. Every single one of them was lying in plain sight beneath the sheets. Dominic was with Montgomery at the time. He thought about what it would be like to spend the rest of his life with him while they were on their first date. He came to the conclusion that it was beneficial. In addition, Vic had a vision of the future. On the other hand, hers was impossible. She looked around and noticed Dean Miller standing next to her. She ought to be aware that he had passed away and that her desire was impossible to achieve. It took some time for the fire tornado to abate. They made sure that everyone was okay, but they were unable to locate Andy. During the time that they were all covering themselves, Andy was present. To put it simply, she was nowhere in the vicinity of them when they emerged. Ben was not with his team, and he was unable to assist them in their search for Andy. He had transported Theo to the medical facility. The news that 2 people had been caught in the fire and that one of them was pregnant came to him as he was beginning his journey back. Ben was taking Carina along with him. It was on the side of the road where they gave birth to that baby. Burns were severe on the new father's body. Carina's pregnancy made it a risky decision for her to go out there when she was pregnant. Due to the fact that she was in the early stages of pregnancy, she should not be causing herself any unnecessary stress at this time. In addition, the team should not do so. Andy departed in order to bring additional firefighters to perform her duties. Additionally, she constructed a powerful army. Andy was the one who was responsible for the firefighters being able to get the fire under control. After hitting a wall, Andy passed out. She traversed the charred remains of the trees. It is possible that she took in an excessive amount of that substance. Her arrival at the hospital was a hasty one. They accompanied her on her journey. They let the other squads to take care of the fires. They were required to remain with their leader. An additional fire was responsible for the death of their first captain. That one that made them all proud, and that one that no one wanted to experience again because it was so devastating. Ben and Carina were at the hospital when they came face to face with the rest of Station 19's family. Over the course of her time with Maya, Carina revealed that she was expecting a child. And despite the fact that Andy was in severe condition, they were both incredibly delighted. She took in a generous amount of smoke. For a period of time, she was under. During the time that she was asleep, she did not visualize her life in the years to come. She chose to return to the time in her life when she was the happiest. There was Jack involved. In the hospital, she eventually came to herself. She had a grin on her face now that she understood where she had gone wrong. It was a mistake for her to give up Jack because of her jaw conditions. That was no longer an obstacle for them to overcome. 3 months after that, recovering from the fires, Ciel was making progress. In order to say goodbye to Vic, Station 19 hosted a party. Theo is now present. Andy extended an offer of employment to him at the station while he was making a very impressive recovery. According to her, he was an excellent firefighter. In addition, Andy needed to increase the size of her team because she was losing 2 members. Sadly, she was losing Vic. Additionally, she was losing Ben. Ben was going to go back to his residency program in surgical surgery. As a physician, he was. His children, number 3. Every time he went out to put out a fire, he did not want his family to be concerned about him. His profession as a physician was a more secure choice. Ben gave Miller his word that he would bring up Prue in the correct manner. If he were to pass away, he would be unable to accomplish that. He imagined his life, and it appeared to be going well with his 3 children and his lovely wife standing by his side. In addition, Montgomery's decision to depart with Vic came as a complete surprise to everyone. They were the closest of friends. All that mattered to him was where she was. It was partly because he did not want her to start a new life without him that he decided to leave with her. In a new role, Maya was promoted as captain of Station 19. Andy was promoted to the position of fire chief. They were both able to realize their goals and dreams. It just took a few years to do this.